In a beautiful city of Enugu, there lived a beautiful lady, Kelechi. Kelechi is a self-developed woman and she had worked so hard to get to where she was. Kelechi is one of the manager in a big multinational company. She was the head of quality control department. She is a workaholic and very good at her job. With all her achievements, Kelechi sucked at dressing. But none of her colleagues ever spoke to her about it as they didn't know how she was going to feel. One day, they announced that the new director was coming in that day, so all heads of department should go welcome him. When Mr. Kule Akin walked in, he appreciated each and every one of them for their kindness. Then he noticed an odd dressing amongst the heads of departments. When the person rose her head, to his greatest surprise, it was Kelechi, his classmate from university. Kelechi escorted him to his office while showing him around. When she was done and had returned to her duty post, she was so excited. Her university crush is now her own boss. She was so glad. She remembered not seeing a ring on his hands. She thought to herself, fate has brought us back together. So with this, Kelechi tried her possible best to look presentable for him. She went as far as changing her wardrobe and she tried new styles. She wasn't color blocking or pattern blocking in any way. Her junior colleagues noticed the sudden change in her dressing and attire and knew something was up. Kelechi has never cared about what she wore to work. All she cared about was getting the job done. It felt she had gotten herself a stylist as she made effort to looking flawless each day. As luck may have it, Kunle started noticing her, and most times they had lunch together. Kunle remembered how Kelechi was studious while at school and have heard a lot from other workers how she was a workaholic and had no time for fun. So he asked Kelechi about herself and work, trying to catch up on lost moments. Kelechi was so excited. She thought to herself, so Kunle is beginning to notice me. As Kunle was asking about her personal life, so she thought to herself, so Kunle is beginning to notice me. As he's asking about my personal life too, unknown to her, Kunle was only showing concern as she was the only person he knew and wanted to get on her side. Kunle was a typical businessman and knew well not to mix business with pleasure. Kelechi was in her A games. She made sure her department never had any issue or any reason to be cautioned. Rather than that to happen, she doesn't mind doing all the work herself. She wanted to tick all Kunle's boxes of the best woman for him. One day, while Kunle and Kelechi were discussing in his office about some new products they wanted to take up, Kunle quickly asked her, have you started staying out late? Because I remember in university days, you weren't the type to party or go clubbing. All you did was to study and go to the library. Kelechi hasn't started staying out, but she didn't know why he was asking. She was avoiding to give the wrong answer. So she quickly asked him, why are you asking? To which Kunle said, I wanted to invite you for my upcoming birthday. Kelechi smiled and said, no problem, I will be there. Kunle looked at her and said, you're permitted to bring a plus one. Kelechi didn't really have anyone to take along, so she invited her neighbor at home, since her neighbor was the one that helped upgrade her closet and was the only friend she had. That day, after the close of work, Kelechi went to Chimama's place to invite her for Kunle's birthday. At first, Chimama didn't want to go as she had a lot of things to do, but Kelechi kept on begging her, so she accepted. Then they quickly went shopping for nice dinner dress as Kelechi wanted to look her best. When they got to Kunle's penthouse, after getting checked by various security at every point, they finally got to the main building. The birthday party was massive. It felt like a gathering for the elites. No one there was below average. Kunle saw them from a distance and welcomed them and even gave them a comfortable place to sit where the noise of the music was less. After they had settled in, Kelechi introduced Chimama to Kunle. They exchanged pleasantries. Kunle spent little time with them, trying to make them feel comfortable before joining his male friends. When the event was over, he thanked Kelechi and Chimama for coming. Kelechi gave him his birthday gifts and he hugged them and they left. Chimama had to drive the car as Kelechi wasn't a night person and was already dozing off. She only agreed to go out because it was Kunle that invited her. Kelechi also kept her personal life a secret from Chimama. So Chimama never knew that Kelechi was crushing on Kunle. So when they got home, Kelechi thanked Chimama and they departed. The next day, Kunle had a serious hangover and needed something for his headache. So he went to the pharmacy nearby while heading to work. To his greatest surprise, the pharmacist was Chimama. She saw Kunle and recognized him immediately. And Kunle asked her, "Are you a pharmacist?" To which Chimama said yes. And Chimama asked him, "What are you doing here?" And Kunle said he had a hangover. So she administered some medication to him. Kunle asked if they could exchange number in case he had any health issue and needed someone to talk to. Chimama smiled and told him, "You're a rich person, so you should always have a family doctor." So she decided to give Kunle her number and they exchanged number. Chimama didn't think much into it, but Kunle liked her the moment he saw her and had planned taking her number from Kelechi. So it felt like luck was on his side for them to meet again. Kunle went to the office so excited and couldn't wait to get to know Chimama more. When Kunle got to the office, he had his PA make him his best coffee, after which he began working. When it was time for lunch, Kelechi came to Kunle's office and they went to have lunch together. While at it, Kunle asked Kelechi about Chimama and Kelechi just gave a brief explanation about her, not wanting to divert attention to Chimama. So she kept the conversation brief and returned back to talking about herself. Kunle noticed it and brought the topic again, but she remained silent. And after a few minutes, Kelechi told him, "I really don't know much about her as we just became friends." In her heart, that was the best way to dismiss any topic about Chimama. Even though they've known themselves for 3 years and 6 months, Kunle is her dream man. She shouldn't be talking about anyone else to him apart from herself. After lunch, they both returned to their duty post. Kelechi kept on questioning why Kunle was asking about Chimama. All of a sudden, Was it because she took Chimama to his birthday party? She had done everything to get his attention. Were they not all working? She was also too shy to let her feelings out, so she thought of ways to make Kunle see only her. She decided to make sure she won every competition held in the company. Anything that could make Kunle see her, she was ready to go far and beyond. But Kunle had eyes for Chimama, so one day Kunle visited the pharmacy, pretending to be sick. After Chimama had counseled him and prescribed some over-the-counter drugs for him, Kunle noticed she was about closing for the day and asked if they could grab dinner. Chimama laughed and said, "Sure, but will you be cooking? Cause I don't eat out." Kunle laughed and said, "No problem." So they went to Kunle's place and Kunle made dinner for both of them. While they discussed, Kunle asked her reasons for not eating out. Chimama told him she had so many allergies and wasn't sure if the chef was going to stick to her kind of food, so she preferred making her meal herself. So Kunle asked her, "So that was why you were picking out lots of ingredients when I was making the food?" And Chimama said, "Yes." So when they were done with the dinner, Kunle made his interest known to Chimama. Chimama accepted, and within a short period of time, they started dating. Kunle always came to her workplace to pick her up. Kunle always came to work very excited and was never around during lunch, as he always went to Chimama's place for them to have lunch together. It was either Chimama made meal and brought to the office, or Kunle made the meal himself and took it to her. Kelechi soon became disturbed as she noticed that Kunle was never around during lunch anymore. So one day, she decided to follow him out while he was leaving. And to her greatest surprise, Kunle was in front of Chimama's pharmacy, hugging Chimama tightly. Kelechi was shocked and she thought to herself, when did this all start? Oh, I can't believe this babe wants to steal my man right under my nose. I won't let that happen. So one day, Kelechi invited Kunle to her place, as Kunle hasn't been to her place before. Kunle accepted because of the relationship he had with her. Left for Kunle, he didn't visit anybody at any time. She also used the opportunity to invite Chimama for dinner. While they were sharing dinner and having fun, Kelechi suddenly asked Chimama about her child. The place became silent all of a sudden. Kunle was shocked. In his heart, he thought to himself, what baby is she talking about? And Chimama was trying to understand the reason for the question. Why would Kelechi suddenly ask about a child when they were having dinner and talking about a different thing entirely? Kunle looked at Kelechi and asked, what child? Kelechi laughed and said, it's Martin. I just remembered she has been looking for a child for the past years. So I wanted to know if she had found him. Chimama smiled and said, no, I haven't found him yet. Kunle kept put, with everyone returning back to the dinner. And all of a sudden, the atmosphere remained quiet up until they were done eating. Kelechi walked Kunle to the door. After he had gone, Chimama asked, Kelechi, I don't get. Why bring up a child over a dinner? Was it really necessary? Kelechi lied and said, I'm sorry for that. I just remembered I saw a child that looks like the picture you showed me. Chimama asked her, where did you see the child? Which place? And why are you just telling me now? I would have gone looking for him immediately. Kelechi also gave a fake location. Chimama thanked her and left. Which child do you think Kelechi is asking Chimama of? Since Chimama is dating Kunle, how come she hasn't told Kunle about the child? Stay tuned and find out more about this story. So we'll meet again in our next. We still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika.